Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. Listen, scream, and embrace your obsession. I'm your host, Eleazar, and today Joseph is here to guide us through the world of Tremors, where the ground is never as safe as it looks. What is the life cycle of the Graboids? Where do future movies in the franchise take us? And what wild behind-the-scenes details did we uncover? If you dare follow us, our links in the description. Next week on the podcast, Hellraiser's Hellseeker. But until then, a movie that asks, what could possibly go wrong in a place called perfection? Hello everybody, welcome to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host, Eleazar. I'm joined again by co-host Joseph. Joseph, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Just been doing some home projects. Got a little paint on me, but it's finally cooled down in my neck of the woods. Very pleasant outside.
I was told there was going to be a cold front, and that meant 99 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's a cold front, all right.
Yeah, that's Texas, man.
I was able to have the air condition on level 2 instead of level 3 in the car. But speaking of blazing heat, today we're covering Tremors. It came out in 1990, filmed in the desert. It was 96 minutes long. It had a budget of $10 million and made $16 million domestically. They called it a bomb.
Yeah.
It didn't do well until the video market, and then when it hit this thing called VHS, these tapes that we used to play.
Yeah, they played in what was called a VCR.
It sold really well at these stores called Blockbuster.
Yeah, even grocery stores had their own rental stores.
That's right. I used to rent from Albertsons. That's right.
Yeah, we rented from HEB.
Anyway, so it was considered a bomb, which is probably why Kevin Bacon talks about how when they offered him the role for part 2, he said he did not want to be in it because it was a bomb. Why would he do another one? And it's funny because he was originally in that script, and in the second one, there's a character who has to go out of his way and say, oh, I'm not that guy. I'm not the original, or something like this. Like, because it basically just changed his name but left the role the same for part 2. But anyway, it was directed by Ron Underwood, who I know from City Slickers.
Yeah.
I think he wants to forget about the adventures of Pluto Nash, not sure. But I really liked his movie Heart and Soul. Robert Downey Jr. was in that.
I've never seen either of those movies. I've seen City Slickers, of course.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, like I said, we had Kevin Bacon. We've covered him before in Flatliners and Stir of Echoes. And then Steven and I talked about him in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But he's also in Hollow Man, They/Them. Obviously, he's in Footloose for non-horror stuff.
Sure. And that's why there's the game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah. Which I used to have a website on back in my coding HTML days.
Really?
Yeah. People would ask me, oh, well, can you link him to this actor? And then so I would make a new page and program it there. Not at work.
Of course not. Of course not.
And publish a new page. Like, here you go. There's their connection in 4 links, So, and then we got Fred Ward, who plays Earl. He's mainly a character actor, but been in a lot of TV shows. So you're probably just really familiar with seeing his face, but not knowing from where.
Yeah, so I'm an outlier because I remember him from Remo Williams. I watched that movie a lot when I was a kid.
Nice. And then we have Finn Carter, who plays Rhonda Lebeck. She's the seismologist grad student. But she was most famous for her run on As the World Turns. But she was in a couple other movies at the time.
Okay.
Michael Gross is Burt Grummer. He was famous for his role in Family Ties as a nice, loving father. And when that ended, he was hoping to not be typecast as the same thing. So he thought like a gun-loving, prepare for the end of the world, trying to get away from the government kind of character.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think these days people look at those kind of characters a little bit askew now.
Yeah, of course.
Just a little bit drastically different nowadays.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But for horror, he was also in Sometimes They Come Back Again.
Must be a sequel?
It's a sequel to a Stephen King-based movie. I really like the original. I'm sure I've seen Sometimes They Come Back Again at least once.
Okay.
Then we got Reba McEntire, obviously known for her country music career and many appearances in her sitcoms over the years.
Sure. So what's your favorite Reba McEntire song?
Oh, Jolene.
I think that was Dolly Parton, man.
Oh, you're right. Then don't ask that question to me.
I mean, in your defense, country music is highly male-dominated.
Then I don't know the answer, dang it.
Especially back then.
That's too funny. I'm mixing them up. Every reference I had was for the wrong person. But yeah, I thought she did well in this movie. It was her first acting role ever.
Oh, really?
Well, at first the directors were like, really? You want to give us Reba McEntire? That's who you think is going to be good for this role? But she read the lines really well. She convinced them that she could be this crazy nut of a character. And they were like, yeah, let's do this. She's going to be great for this.
Okay. She fits the role, yeah.
And then we have Victor Wong, who plays Walter Chang. He's famous from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
I remember him from the Three Ninjas franchise. Three Ninjas Kick Back, Three Ninjas Strike Again. Those are great movies as a kid. I just went around trying to punch every pillow I had. Like, ah!
I remember him. Yeah, he'll always be Egg Shen to me from Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China.
Right. I should rewatch it. I haven't watched it probably since around when it came out, even though I own it on DVD.
You should watch it more, man.
I need to make time to watch it with my kids is what I need to do.
Yeah, they'll love it.
This is a tangent as well, but with that kind of movie, I always think of Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Have you seen that movie?
No. Who's in that one?
It's nobody that was like in a lot of things, but they were all amazing. Oh, except for the little kid. Yeah. Talmach is the main actor, but the one that my dad was always in love with was Vanity. She played the love interest.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Dude, it's so good. Someone sent me a message on Threads tagging Nightmare Echoes that the AMC theaters is going to be re-releasing it the week of my birthday. I'm like, what the heck? Which I think is funny. One of the little kids in here, though, Ernie Reyes Jr., who in Ninja Turtles 2, he's the pizza delivery kid. But he also had his own TV show where he was like so amazing at martial arts that he helped detectives solve cases and stuff as a little kid.
Okay. I
remember that growing up. Anyway, that's what I think of when I think of like crazy martial arts movies from the time. I love that movie.
Okay, gotcha. Should we go over the writers?
It's S.S. Wilson and Brent Maddock, who worked on a lot of the movies together. They worked on Short Circuit 1 and 2. And Batteries Not Included, which were movies that I loved growing up.
Oh, yeah. I remember them, too. Johnny Five, right?
Yeah. Number 5 is alive.
Yeah.
And then Perfection itself, Perfection, Nevada, is definitely a character in this movie. It's the location they're in, although they filmed it in L.A. or near L.A. somewhere where they had property they were trying to use, and then like it was protected, like they couldn't touch the wildlife or the plants in any way. So they were like, okay, this isn't going to work.
Makes sense, yeah.
Because we need to rebuild a town here. So they found another place to film in, and they bought a bunch of broken down junk and broken down sheds, took them all apart, and then rebuilt them to form a town.
Oh, wow.
Which is Perfection, Nevada. And I'll talk a little bit more about like when they took it all down and then realized they needed to film more later.
Okay, sure.
But anything you want to say about it before we keep going?
I did look up who did the creature effects and designs, and that's Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alec Guinness. I believe they still work together. Woodruff worked on Terminator and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai before he did Tremors. And Alec Guinness did A Galaxy of Terror and Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, which is a damn lie, because there's more films after that. So not much of a final chapter.
Yeah, so before we moved back to Austin, we had 1,200 DVDs on 6 bookshelves. And my wife was ordering the Friday the 13th movies. And I was like, oh, sweetie, I'm sorry, this one's the 4th one. She goes, but it's called The Final Chapter. I was like, I know. So the next one's called The New Beginning. So you see what they did there? She goes, that's not right. I'm like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not getting mad at you.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. That's not how that works.
But Mr. Woodruff Jr. and Mr. Guinness ended up working under Stan Winston in his makeup studio and special effects. And they worked together on films like Aliens and Monster Squad.
Nice.
Have you done Monster Squad yet?
Well, I recorded with Steven. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's right now scheduled to come out January 19th, 2026.
I just want to say we are going to be tackling the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
And Woodruff Jr. and Mr. Guinness eventually branched off and formed their own company called Amalgamated Dynamics. And they worked on a lot of the Aliens and Predator movies, and the Alien vs. Predator movies, among other stuff. And they worked on the special effects for the remake/prequel of The Thing in 2010.
The Mary Elizabeth Winstead film.
Yeah, where she's staring at a green screen.
Yeah, exactly. As one does now.
But they've made a career for themselves.
All right, so I'll do a quick summary.
Okay.
So we got Valentine, a.k.a. Val McKee, and Earl Bassett.
Mm-hmm.
They're a couple of handymen stuck doing odd jobs in a tiny desert town of Perfection, Nevada. Out in the middle of nowhere on the edge of the Sierra Nevadas. They meet Rhonda Lebeck, who's a grad student studying seismic activity in the area.
Yeah.
And she's picking up some strange readings, which she's worried about because if her equipment's not working, she can can a whole semester.
And I'm not sure what college she's from, but I know some of the equipment had the letters MSU. So I assume Montana due to proximity, but I don't know if they actually have a geology degree.
Earl thinks they should help with her equipment to give Val a chance more with the girl. Like, hey, there's a girl. And he's like, well, this doesn't meet the qualifications for this girl that I used to date. And he's got like this tunnel vision of Tammy Lynn Dexter. I'm sure I said it wrong.
Yeah, he corrects Earl in the film too.
Right.
Yeah, he has pictures of this former flame on the other side of the sun visor, which he flips over, points at, and corrects Earl.
And she did have really long legs in those pictures. They shot him from the ground to like really accentuate her legs. If you look at the pictures.
It's such a brief scene. I didn't really pause to take a look at the pictures.
But that was one of the crew that they just dressed her up in outfits that would look like it would fit in the times of the area. And took pictures of her because like, hey, you're a hot blonde woman. Can we use you as this picture? Which is kind of funny.
Okay.
So they're tired of their dead-end gigs and hoping to do something better. And when it's trash day. And so part of that is collecting the sewage. Well, that breaks open and rains shit all over them. They're had enough.
And they're at Melvin's, or I guess Melvin's parents' trailer?
Yeah.
The smart-ass kid. Yeah. Just playing pranks on people.
Yeah.
And he cracks the hell up seeing sewage spew over on these guys.
As a kid would. Like, fart jokes are funny.
Yeah, Melvin's trailer's gonna smell like shit for a few days.
Yeah, right. It's funny, though, when you see them packing up, Kevin Bacon is holding his porno magazines and a vacuum.
I did not realize that either, man.
Like, that's the funniest, like, wait a minute. Why are those together? So their plans are interrupted when they stumble across the body of Edgar Deems, a local who somehow ended up dying from dehydration while climbing up a power line tower.
Yeah, it's like the big metal towers for the high tension power lines.
He's still got a rifle in his hands, and it looks like he was too scared to leave.
But usually those things are surrounded by tall barbed wire fences, so...
Sure.
Razor wire or whatever. But I guess maybe out in the country they don't take those measures.
There was a deleted scene with him where we met him alive, but in the theatrical release of this, or any release of the movie, he's never seen alive in the movie.
Before the advent of DVDs, they didn't know they could put all that stuff in the film later.
Then a local shepherd and his entire flock are killed by something that's unseen, and Val and Earl assume that there's a serial killer trying to chop off people's heads.
Yeah.
We see two construction workers get taken out when their jackhammer stabs one of them and all this blood comes out. One gets his leg wrapped around the cord and kind of pulled away. And then the other one...
Yeah, the jackhammer is stuck in the worm.
Right.
Or the graboid.
And then the other one runs to try to help, but runs into an avalanche of falling rocks that kill him. Then they're going to try to get help. They get stuck, and they're trying to get out, and Val's certain that he can make the four-wheel drive pick it up. And he does get it out of there when Earl tells him that he could blow his axle trying to do that. That line was added because they almost did break the axle of that truck while driving it.
Yeah, and during that scene, they don't realize that something has grabbed the axle of the truck.
Yeah.
They just are trying to get the hell out of there. They don't find out until they get back to Walter Chang's convenience store.
Right.
I guess it's really the only store for the population of Perfection, Nevada.
Yeah.
Whatever, 25 people?
Population 14?
Oh, 14. Okay. Yeah, Walter buys it off of them for $15, and they think they got the better of the deal. And then you see a scene where members of the town are taking pictures with the little graboid tentacle, and he's charging $5 a picture.
Right. Yeah. So when they realize it's these creatures that are after them, although they think it's just these snake-like tentacles.
Yeah, mutated snake. Yeah.
Right. So they think they have a better shot to go out on horseback. They come across the doctor and his wife, but there's no sign of them. And they hear music. Val's like, if they're not here, where's the music coming from? And they unearth the headlights of the car that's been pulled under, which we did see in a shot right before this.
Yeah, the Ford station wagon.
Yeah. Then a massive underground worm burst out of the earth, revealing that the snake was actually just one of its tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
They barely escape when their horses bolt, and the worm slams into concrete, killing itself.
Yeah, they traveled a little bit, and that's when the worm kind of attacks. It grabs one of the horses. And then, yeah, Val's running I guess it's an irrigation ditch or something with reinforced concrete that he jumps into, and that's where the worm crashes into that, killing itself.
Right, because they have no eyes, and they're only using hearing to know where to go.
I don't know if it's hearing or if they just have like really sensitive hair on their body that kind of sense the vibrations in the earth.
Sure.
But I don't know. Just the meager biology of underground creatures that I have.
Oh, I have it. We're going to talk about it later.
I'm sure there's whole biology on these creatures. You don't get this far in a franchise without having that information.
There's 6 sequels and 1 TV show, 1 failed pilot later. But yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. Wow, that's a lot, yeah.
I own 3 copies of this movie, sir.
I've only, seen the second one. You definitely know more. You're the master here.
I got it. Now you're good. All right, so they meet back up with Rhonda. She's able to tell them, based on the vibrations, that there are 3 more of these creatures that they need to worry about. But they're all stuck on these rocks together. And in the morning, they figure out that they can pole vault from rock to rock with these fence poles to get to her truck so they can be safe. Then they make it back to perfection and things go from bad to worse. Worms are now attacking the town. Val rescues the little girl Mindy while bouncing on the pogo stick. Rhonda gets caught up in barbed wire and Val saves her by having her remove her pants.
Of course he has to.
You gotta have her in her underwear, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, this same setup happens in part 6.
Really?
And a character who's playing Bert's son is trying to tell a girl, look, I can save you, you just gotta pull off your pants. And she refuses. They're in like the Arctic cold, and maybe you think it's because she's cold.
Makes sense.
Well, no, it's because she's going commando and doesn't have any underwear and refuses to take off her pants, even if it means saving her life.
Man.
But they're able to free her anyway, and she gets to be freed without her pants coming off.
They could have done like a swap with it's a male character this time. I don't know. Change it up a little bit.
Right. There's a lot of callbacks to the original throughout this franchise.
Okay.
So, in the store, the freezer starts to shake like crazy and is making a lot of noise. So they all work to quiet it. Val jumps on top of it. They work to pull it out, and then the store owner, Walter Chang, is grabbed by the Graboid and is killed right then.
R.I.P. Walter.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So everybody works to get onto the roof, though Rhonda falls through a window and climbs onto the water tower.
Yeah, it's like a couple of yards away.
Yeah. So meanwhile, we have Bert and Heather, who are our town's resident survival couple.
Yeah.
And gun enthusiast.
It borders lines on obsessive.
And you look on their wall and of their basement that they have, and they have an absurd amount of firepower. And they're like apparently so self-sufficient because they want to be off the grid that they have this machine that cleans their own bullet shells.
I thought they were making bullets.
Well, I think they were reusing old casings.
Oh, okay.
They were like cleaning the casing so they can re-powder and primer their own bullets.
Okay.
Right. So it makes a lot of noise, which gets the worm to come, and it goes right into their building.
Yeah.
And they're able to use a lot of firepower to kill this one.
Yeah, just a bit.
And I'll go over all the weapons that were used at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's kind of really cool is that the worm in that scene is a miniature.
Really?
And the humans obviously are not. And they do a really good job because there's one scene where Bert throws down his automatic rifle and it switches over to the worm, which is a miniature. And it's shot in a convincing way that makes it look like that's a giant worm they're facing, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really good. I didn't notice it.
So one of the townspeople, Nestor, his trailer collapses. He tries to hide on a giant tire, but it's on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's sucked into the earth and dragged away.
You should have listened.
They tried to get him higher. One funny moment around here is when they try to convince Melvin to go running for $1. Like, I'll give you $1 if you go running to distract it. And he's like, fuck you. Well, although I guess he didn't actually say that.
No, he doesn't say fuck you. He just kind of gives him the finger. It's PG-13.
Right.
Yeah, they don't really say the F word, right?
Right. Well, but when recording, they didn't know that was a rule. And both Val and Earl say a lot of fucks throughout the whole movie.
Okay.
So when there's some cheesy hillbilly country slang that you hear, it's a redub over the F word.
Okay, nice.
But you're allowed one non-sexual F word to make it PG-13. That was that as well, but they didn't know that rule until the end. So they left the one Fuck you, the Val
The
yells.
celebratory fuck you, yeah.
He gets that one, and they were like, well, we're keeping that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, from what I read, the rating agency doesn't let you know what gets classified to become a PG-13 or a rated R movie. You don't find out till you submitted it.
Right. So the group realizes that they can use the cat, which is this big bulldozer, to pull this trailer behind it where they could all be inside of.
Yeah, so this trailer looks like a rusted crude oil trailer or something else that would be used to haul liquids across country.
Right.
But the upper half of it's removed. It also lacks tires, like the rubber part, so it's just the metal wheel part, so definitely would need a tractor to pull that.
Right. And so they all are able to jump in that. They go to the water tower to rescue Rhonda. That thing was built to tip over in a great scene, and they never used it. And the guy that built it was so disappointed, like, why didn't it ever tip over? Like, I designed that to tip over. Then they go and pick up the gun-loving couple, Bert and Heather. And they're trying to head towards the mountains because they think the rocky terrain will stop the creatures.
Yeah, because those mountains are made of solid granite,
Right.
according to Rhonda.
Right. And so the worms get smart and build a sinkhole trap, stop in their vehicle. I think Bert is pretty pissed off that they're going to just give up here because he's like, we had tons of food. We could have lived in our bunker for a long time.
Yeah, I think they said like 5 years of water and food.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a big house either, so I imagine they had like a couple of bedrooms that were just chock full of resources.
Yeah. So Earl comes up with a plan to feed Bert's homemade pipe bombs to the creatures. They like throwing rocks and they wait for it to come up and then they throw a bomb so it'll eat the bomb and explode, which does take out one of them.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do the same thing on the other one, but this worm's smarter and spits it back out and it lands in their pile of explosives.
And it's the Graboid that lost one of its tentacles earlier.
Worst luck in the world.
Yeah, it's like a 1 in a million shot, man.
And blows them up. Right. And what's crazy, though, is because the crew had to shoot this so many times because they all threw it up in the air and it never hit the explosives. So you're not wrong when you say 1 in a million.
Oh, man.
Because they just filmed over and over and over until it finally landed correctly.
Crazy.
So with one shot left, Val, along with Earl and Rhonda, run out. Like, they don't plan, they just start running. He's like, what's your plan? He's like, I got a plan, don't worry. And they run.
Trust.
And it's basically kind of like playing chicken with this thing. Val runs to the cliff, the other two dive away, and then he throws the bomb to blow up behind the Graboid, scaring it to flying off the cliff and killing itself from the fall.
Yeah. And that's a callback to the opening sequence.
Right.
Where we meet Val and Earl. Earl's sleeping in the bed of a truck, and he's really hard to sleep. Val tried to gently wake him up earlier. So he gets up on the tire on the side of the bed of the truck, and just uses all his weight to shake the back of the truck, screaming, "Stampede! Stampede!" And Earl, of course, freaks out and tries climbing out of his sleeping bag, falling onto the ground.
Right, well, and it mirrors it even more. Like, you're on the right track here, right? Because he's in a sleeping bag that looks like a Graboid. The color is that. So
Okay,
he
yeah.
wiggles his way and falls off like he's falling off the cliff of the back of the truck.
Oh, nice.
So it is
That's awesome. Yeah.
really well written.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the danger over, the group head back to the town, waiting for the authorities to come. Earl has to give Val a little nudge that he should go after Rhonda, and then they have a kiss. Now, this didn't happen when they test screened the movie. They had it where they drove off and they realized the whole movie there's this gag of one has the cigarettes, one has the lighter.
Yeah.
And they're like a team because they can never be apart because they're never a whole without each other.
Okay.
But then they realized they gave her the lighter when they were lighting bombs, so he turns around with that excuse to go after her and the movie ends. And apparently in the test screenings, people were chanting, "Kiss her, kiss her." And so the studio's like, guys, you're going to have to go back and film it. So they cut it in because they didn't have the town anymore. They had it on the edge of town with this like fake fence. And the kissing happens there at the edge of town when that town didn't even exist anymore.
Oh.
And apparently if you really study it, you can see that Earl's shirt's a little different or button different or something's different or his hair's different, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you really wanted, you could tell which cut was what.
Okay.
I did want to mention about Bert. The cap he wears is Atlanta Hawks cap, and it changes to like 3 different hats throughout the franchise. Until part 6 came around, because he's born in Chicago. I think part of his stipulations was like, all right, I'll come back, but I'm wearing a Cubs cap now.
Okay.
They make it a recurring joke in that movie, because they're like, the guy that plays his son, played by Jimmy Kennedy, is like, you switch teams? He goes, no, I just switched caps. And everybody, like, it keeps coming back up. Someone's like, you switched teams? And they're like, no, I just switched caps. What is wrong with you people? Like, it's just funny because he's like this gun-toting, loving person. He probably grabbed whatever cap was available. He didn't care. He just needs something to protect his eyes.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
He doesn't care about sports. But, like, everybody's just like, what? Like, it's just this funny joke that goes on. I love it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right.
I just wanted to ask one question real quick.
Go ahead.
What is your experience in arid, dry environments? Something akin to Perfection, Nevada.
I don't know. I mean, I travel around a lot with AmeriCorps.
Yeah, I imagine.
I would say that the driest might have been, like, Northeast Texas. But, you know, not too much. You?
West Texas for me. We went out when I was younger with my dad to go hiking in the Guadalupe Mountains. And man, when you're doing those hikes, you're carrying a lot of your water with you.
Okay.
But I would like to go to Death Valley at some point in the future.
Sure. What do you think makes Tremors stand out from other monster movies of this era?
So what comes to my mind, most of the villains or monsters in horror movies are humanoid in form. Freddy, Jason, the xenomorph from Aliens. But this one is a long, non-humanoid creature, so I imagine that it's a bunch of child actors controlling the various parts of the Graboid.
Yeah.
But seriously, that's what makes it stand out, is that it's just not a humanoid creature.
Right. For the underground stuff, they used a buoy that you use in the ocean to drag under the dirt, like a truck would drag it, so that it would displace the dirt as they were going, which I think that's kind of neat effect.
Yeah.
Do you think the practical effects hold up compared to today's CGI-heavy films?
Definitely. It looks like real flesh. When it explodes, it's, actually something that is exploding.
Right.
The grime on it looks like it just smells, like they mentioned several times in the film.
Right. Yeah, Reba McEntire's first line in a film ever is, "It smells," or something like that. One other thing I want to say about the creature while we're talking about it is that it originally was designed, right? Like if you look at it, it's very phallic, right? It was designed with a skin that would come over the head and protect it. And that was the line that the studio said, no, we're not making a movie about penises going through and killing people.
Yeah, so what I read is that it was just cracking up the crew, and everyone was just laughing every time they saw it, the worm with the foreskin. And when you're laughing at something, it's not going to invoke too much fear.
Right. So they're circumcised it.
They did indeed.
Who's your favorite character in the movie and why?
Well, when I first watched it as a kid, it was between Val and Bert. Val's the main character, and Bert's the gun-toting guy that kind of saves the day.
Yeah.
But on rewatch, I think it's Earl. He's kind of knows more.
Yeah.
Just about the way the world works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not as quick thinking as Val, but he definitely has more wisdom than Val.
Sure.
Yeah, when Val's talking about his ideal woman, he knows that sort of thing is never going to work out.
Blonde hair, green eyes, legs that won't quit, world-class breasts.
Yep.
Ass that don't quit, right?
And it's ass that won't quit and legs that go all the way up.
Oh, legs that go all the way up. Yeah, okay.
And Earl knows that end of the day, you're going to want somebody that you can relate to more than just somebody that's, all physical attraction.
Sure, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you might like the second one because it's Earl and Bert that come back, but Earl's the main character of the second one. What are your thoughts on the Val and Earl dynamic? Do you think the buddy comedy vibe worked?
Yeah, the film had plenty of funny moments between them. In the first 15 minutes in the opening scenes, you feel like you get to know them and they seem to know each other very well. You can clearly see their camaraderie.
Right.
I know Bacon said that he did have a lot of fun working on this film, though. So I think that definitely helped, because it definitely seems like they have a great time together.
Yeah, it was a 2015 interview.
I do know for a good decade or so after the filming, he really didn't want to have anything to do with the franchise. It would have been interesting to see them in another film together.
Did you notice any specific scenes that cleverly built tension without showing the creature?
This is interesting because the creature obviously doesn't have any eyes, but in an early scene where Rhonda's moving some equipment and getting into her truck, the camera takes the view of the creature.
Right.
But at this point, the audience doesn't know exactly what it looks like. I guess unless you walked in and you saw the movie poster, you knew it's something underground.
It had a big mouth coming up from the ground and then 3 characters on the surface.
Okay. It really doesn't make sense when you think about it, because it doesn't have eyes, but,
Right. How do you feel about the mix of horror and humor? Does it help or hurt the movie's impact?
Humor can be used as a reprieve for the dark themes found in many horror films. This one's a PG-13 movie. It's really light on the horror elements. It's also used to bring out humanity. And of course, obviously, all the characters are pretty likable. And I think this is what they were writing for, given what the writers have written for in the past. They were definitely good at this style of humor and comedy.
Yeah. A lot of people credit the mix of this being not well targeted to any one audience. They say that the horror and the comedy, they couldn't figure out how to market it. Like, did they market it as a horror movie? They make it market it as a comedy. And yeah, but that's what they say. That's why it was a bomb in the theater.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I was just thinking, like, it gives me the vibes of Twister.
Sure.
They're both kind of set in a rural community, and it's not quite a buddy comedy, but there's definitely some back and forth between Paxton and Helen Hunt.
Sure, I see that.
You think about it, the tornado's the villain, I guess, and it's kind of a mindless thing, and obviously this is a worm. But maybe I'm reaching, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I see that. Twister's really good. It's a good movie. I still quote that all the time.
Now I'm just wondering, like, who was Twister made for,
Right.
I mean, they're certainly scary. Tornadoes are scary as fuck.
That's a question I can answer. When I was in AmeriCorps and we were in Iowa, we pulled over the side.
Save it for Twister, man. Come on.
We pulled over the side of the road and we saw as it's coming down, it got down 90% of the way. And then all of a sudden from the ground up, the last 10% came up to connect.
It looks cool, but not when you're there.
And it passed us by. And when it finally went away, we drove and we saw how it picked out one person's shed to destroy. And there was wool, sheep's wool everywhere. It just destroyed this guy's whole stock.
Oh, man.
But missed everybody else around the area, which is insane.
Lives were spared, though, so that's a good thing. I mean,
yeah.
It sucks he lost what he's working towards or whatever, but
yeah, right.
He has his life. You got yours, so yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Ugh.
Would Tremors still work if it was set somewhere other than the desert?
The short answer is no. I think a city would make the budget go up astronomically, but then they have to do something about it busting through reinforced concrete, and we already know they kind of circumcised it already, so
right.
Yeah, I don't think a city would really work. In a forest, you could maybe do it, but you have to do more special effects with the trees toppling down.
Sure.
I certainly wouldn't want them to be chopping down a bunch of trees in a forest anyways, just to film.
Right.
But the dry-arid environment is the perfect setting for this film.
Right.
What about the sequels? Where were they set in?
Yeah, and then in the movies, they go to Mexico.
I vaguely remember that from watching the second one.
Sure.
When I first came to home video.
They return to perfection, then they go back like 100 years and do it in perfection as back 100 years ago.
Okay.
Then they go to Africa.
Of course.
Then the Arctic, Canada, and then they go to the tropical island.
Sure.
For the 7th installment. But yeah, none of them are as good as the first. But if you're willing to kind of turn your brain off and just watch a fun, stupid movie, I think they're all fun.
It's a B movie.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they still get made. They're just going straight to a streaming service of some sort.
Reba McEntire and Michael Gross steal the show. Do you think they deserve a spinoff?
Nah, they're great side characters and they're funny, but I can't see a whole movie about their daily lives.
Right.
I imagine it would be like Dale Dribble from King of the Hill, Bert kind of just spouting off random conspiracies.
Sure, right.
And Heather just kind of going along with it, I guess. I don't know, because she seemed kind of subservient, I guess, in that regards to Bert.
Sure.
But yeah, like I just don't think there would be enough to go off of for a film or even a TV series.
Sure. If you lived in Perfection, Nevada, how would you try to survive a graboid attack?
If I was there, it would probably be because I was hiking through the Sierra Nevada mountain range. And if craziness was happening, I would have been right back in those mountains, man.
If you're independently wealthy, maybe you'd probably be able to call in like a helicopter to come save you.
Yeah, did they have satellite phones back then? I don't know.
I'm surprised Bert didn't, but he wanted to stay off the grid. Okay, let's talk about the weapons.
Let's go.
So in that bunker scene, the thing busts through. There's a lot of weapons on the wall. I'm going to go over the weapons they actually have in their hands, but I'm going to do it in the order of shotgun, rifle, machine guns, and handguns.
Okay.
So the shotgun most people remember is what they call the elephant gun. It is a William Moore & Co. 8-gauge shotgun. They actually broke it on the set when he threw it from the truck and it landed on a rock. It broke the stock, and so it wouldn't work anymore. They have a Remington 870, which is also referred to as the Police Magnum Riot Shotgun. It's a 12-gauge. Bert uses that. Heather uses a Winchester 1200 Defender with a pistol grip. It's like the handle on the back is angled like you would hold a pistol, not like you would think of as a shotgun, and that handle's what makes it a Winchester.
Okay.
For rifles, Bert starts the battle in the bunker with the Steyr-Malicher SSG P2 rifle. He drops it as soon as he's out of ammo to grab a new weapon. There's one point where Bert is firing a Heckler & Koch HK91A2 while Heather fires a Colt AR-15 Sporter 2. Edgar, who's the man found dead earlier, having climbed and died of dehydration, was holding a Winchester Model 1894, which Val takes and he uses in their first encounter with the Graboids. Later in the film, Heather lends Bert a Winchester Model 70 with a scope on it.
Okay.
Earl hands a Colt single-action Army, a.k.a. the Cavalry model, with a nickel-plated grip. It's 1.75-inch barrel. Earl has that in his truck.
Yeah, Earl will need a gun, because, I mean, he's probably working mostly under the table jobs, sleeping outside. You got varmints out there, ne'er-do-wells.
Sure, yeah. He also has a Smith & Wesson Model 28 at the end of the film, at the same time that Val is shooting the Uzi.
Okay. The amount is already so insane.
Yeah. No, I know. The IMI Micro Uzi. That's the only submachine gun in the movie. But it's used by Val over the side when they're in that trailer and they're trying to shoot the Graboid in the dirt. It has a 32-round magazine and it shoots 9mm.
Okay. So I know there's the Hughes Amendment. I believe it says something that you can't own a fully automatic machine gun after a certain year. And if you are able to, I think it's a huge financial burden and you are highly watched by the ATF.
Okay. And finally, there's a scene where Heather is shooting 2 handguns in the bunker at the same time. She has a Sig Sauer P226 in her left and a Ruger Red Hawk in her right hand.
Gotcha.
And a fun note, the Ruger Red Hawk is what Bert hands to Melvin to make him feel brave so he can run, but it has no bullets in it.
He doesn't know it at the time, though.
Right, yeah, I know. And also, the Sig Sauer gun is the same gun that Alex Murphy spins in RoboCop.
Okay.
And Lewis also has that. It's like their police-issued weapon. Also, Bill Paxton used one in Predator 2.
Okay, nice. What's he say when he gives the gun back? It made you run or something?
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
Bert carries a Magnum Research Inc. Mark I Desert Eagle.
Anytime I hear Desert Eagle, I always think of the film Snatch.
Yeah.
Where it's like Bullet Tooth Tony says something about the fact that you have replica written down the side of your guns, and mine says Desert Eagle .50.
Right, exactly, yeah. I do remember that. I really like it.
Great film.
I love where the guy tries to rob the place, but he doesn't realize that the door is, you have to pull it open, and he just rams to the door, and he thinks he's stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I gotta watch that again.
Yeah. Heather takes a M8 flare pistol. She fires that into the mouth of the Graboid.
The flare was so random, but I mean,
it seemed to be effective.
Oh yeah, it's gonna burn, man, for sure.
That wall behind them is really difficult to catalog because they filmed it over a series of days and they took down all the weapons every day.
Okay.
And they put them back up every day in a different spot.
Oh, okay. Someone need to have like an Excel file or a spreadsheet or whatever.
Or a really good props department, like with a grid map or something. It was, it's hard to do all that.
Yeah.
Other fun things. The buildings were all built to come up and collapse and then reform.
Okay.
So they could have it look like a collapse and then reform it to shoot the scene again, or they could have it going up in the air and then resetting down so they didn't have to make everything in one take.
That's pretty cool. So was it rigged with cables?
Yeah, I think they were able to pull something back so that it reformed.
Nice, that's pretty cool.
And then the front porch that had the buoy go under it was all tied in a way that the slats would fall back into place after the buoy passed it.
Nice.
Which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah.
The girl on the pogo stick is played by Ariana Richards from Jurassic Park fame. That little girl shaking the jello.
Yeah.
She auditioned and beat out 500 girls because she lied about being able to use a pogo stick. Her mother ran out and bought her one right away after the audition, and she practiced, and by the time the film shot, she could do 500 consecutive pogo stick jumps. She had mastered that.
That's some dedication.
So it's smart.
Yeah.
So that septic tank scene where the crap got all over them, I can relate to this one.
Oh, What happened to you, dude?
It's not the sickest thing,
Oh, okay. All right.
but when I was in AmeriCorps, me and a girl named Nina were sent off to study this guy. He's a water engineer, and his job was to handle the septic tank for a children's home, which is what they call orphanages. They're set up in like a family structure in these places where there'll be like 2 parents per cabin, pretty much like a big house, and they each have 8 kids that they're responsible for.
Okay.
So his job was to handle all the waste for the whole site. And so we got to go there and see the equipment that treats it, gets rid of the waste, but is able to like cycle the water back through and purify it so that it goes back into good use.
Mm-hmm.
But it smelled horrible.
Yeah, I bet.
It was so bad that the person I was with, Nina, she stood back like 50 yards, ended up just laying on the ground and taking a nap. She's like, I'm not going near that. There's no way.
Wait, so the water smelled terrible, or once not after it got recycled?
No,
right?
I'm saying the actual crap that was getting filtered out. There was this big tank that was covered, and you could see the process of what was going on. But even though it's in the open air, it's letting the air out so that the smell will go away. But you could tell when you got near it, like, oh, wow.
Gotcha. And what was Reba's character's first line in the film, man?
Here you go. Reba's first line in the movie ever was, stinks, too.
Can you say it like Reba McEntire's accent? A southern thing?
I don't think so. I don't think I got an accent like that. I mean, I grew up in Texas, sonny boy, but I don't think I'm going to be able to ever talk like that.
It stinks, too.
There you go. Good job. All right. So in the movie, they keep playing rock, paper, scissors. And the whole movie, it's loser does the thing. You lost, you have to cook breakfast, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, when it matters to Earl that he wants to do the thing, it becomes winner decides who does the thing.
Yeah.
And Val's like, but no, I lost. And, it's just funny.
Do you know the last movie that we did where they did rock, paper, scissors?
No, I'm trying to think.
It was The Descent.
I don't remember when they did it now.
They do it a few times. Some of them might have been a deleted scene, but Juno and Becca are debating on who's going to drive, and they do rock, paper, scissors, but then they still can't decide, and Sarah grabs the keys from Juno and says, I'll drive.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. I do remember. Yeah. All right. So there's a line where Earl says, those guys aren't fast, and Val replies, for all you know, they could fly, which is a thing that happens in the third movie, as they introduce the ass blasters, which I'll go over in a little bit.
Is that the official term?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. If you watch videos on the life of a graboid, you'll get it.
So yeah, they don't actually say graboid in the film.
Yeah.
Is it a fan name, or they actually call him that?
They gave Walter credit for it.
Oh, okay.
He gets really close to saying it, but in the franchise, by the second one, they called them graboids, and they do credit in the movie. Bert later in another movie says that Walter came up with that name.
Yeah, he does go through a series of names, but I don't think it's quite Graboid.
Yeah, and I think that might be the name of the video game, the arcade game that was made based on their adventures.
Oh.
That sits in Earl's place in the second movie.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, but I'll go over it real quick. So Graboids give birth to Shriekers. They become 3 Shriekers.
Uh-huh.
And then Shriekers morph into ass blasters. So Shriekers use infrared to hunt, where Graboids use sound and vibrations to hunt. Shriekers use infrared to hunt, so they have to make themselves cold to hide from them.
Of course, we saw in Predator.
Oh, sure. Yes, you're right.
That's where they had to get it from, right?
Yeah, right. Of course. Then ass blasters come, which they release a gas that gets ignited and blast them off into the air, and they're able to glide in air to attack things.
So how do they ignite it?
By farting.
No, that's the gas, but...
Oh, it's part of their anatomy. It just, a spark happens when they let it out, and it launches them into the air, and they're able to glide with kind of like wings to go where they're at. And they get better with movies. I swear by part 7, they're like these expert flyers. It's insane.
All from gas, huh?
And those ass blasters each lay eggs. So, in turn, they're able to multiply like this.
Okay.
And bring more, because one Graboid becomes 3 Shriekers, which each become 1 ass blaster, which I think can lay multiple eggs.
Gotcha. So there's an egg form, I guess the Graboid's the larval form?
I think so, yeah.
It's like the ass blaster, the higher life form, the final form?
Yeah, which is funny. it doesn't seem like the most diddliest.
And they don't make like a cocoon or anything either? They just kind of spring forth from like themselves?
I think their skin kind of sheds off and out pops a shrieker. I could be wrong on that.
Like in Gremlins or something?
I think so.
Okay. This is all bonus material, y'all. Enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So the pole vaulting scene that we talked about, it was written in the script. Then they realized, while there's a lot of rocks in this desert, none of them were close enough. Or if they were, they weren't the right size to believe that a graboid would not be able to get on it.
They built fake rocks?
Yeah, they built fake rocks made out of different types of building material, but they were light enough that when they weren't filming, they got blown away.
Oh, okay.
And they had to chase them down the desert. I'm told that people ended up, after the filming, they kind of were just left there, and people were able to use them to build other things in the area.
Oh, interesting.
And one of the funniest scenes for me is when Kevin Bacon is trying to put this U-nail in a post.
Yeah, setting barbed wire on a fence, yeah.
Right. He misses like 20 times before he lands it.
I definitely didn't know this as a kid, but on the rewatch, man, I was like, Jesus, he's shitty.
Yeah. Earl gives it a look like, oh, that went in.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
It's so good. But Kevin Bacon in an interview has said, I'm really much more of a handyman than these two guys are. Okay, I just want people to know he's good with a hammer.
It's so crazy the amount of cigarettes they smoke in this film. I don't know if it's just modern times or what.
Sure. Back then, heroes smoked all the time.
True. I'm trying to think. Did Rambo smoke?
In movies.
I know Schwarzenegger had cigars. I just don't know who smokes cigarettes.
I don't know.
But hey, I guess they're getting paid by Philip Morris or what other cigarette companies they were.
I think they were. I think it helped fund movies.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay, so let's go over the franchise for a little bit.
Sure.
So part 2 is called Aftershocks. Fred Ward's the main character, and they do call Michael Gross's character Bert in to come back later. So it's all about Earl, and they call Bert in, and when he gets there, he doesn't understand that they're going to be shriekers, and he didn't bring the type of ammo that would have been better for shriekers.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny.
What kind of ammo would be better?
He brought a bunch of things with, like, all about penetration. And so he would have just brought, like, quicker rapid-fire ammo, I think.
Okay.
He ends up using a lot of explosives to destroy them.
Sure.
And there's a comical scene where they're, like, run behind a shed. He's like, I don't think you understand how big this explosion's going to be. Run further. Oh. Then, so after that, Michael Gross is the main character and everything. And Back to Perfection, they come back. This is where they introduce the ass blasters that, again, they fart, send them in the air.
It's always going to be funny.
It's great. Oh, yeah, I get it. It's funny. It's like, I think that's why the movies work.
Sure.
All right. Part 4 was a prequel called The Legend Begins. Michael Gross plays his own great-grandfather, but it's like Perfection 100 years ago, something like that. So it's back to basics. It's just graboids.
So in that one, do they talk kind of old-timey?
It's been a long time, actually, but I think they sound old-timey. And he also is not at all a fan of guns, which is kind of funny.
Okay. Last year we watched all of the Deadwood series, and they talk not quite Shakespearean, but they're using archaic words, and there'd be scenes where I'd pause it and ask my wife, do you know what they meant by what they just said?
Yeah, right.
But I also wanted to mention Deadwood because it's also set in the late 19th century, and it also stars Timothy Oliphant, who is in a film we'll be discussing soon.
All right, 5 holds up the long tradition that was finally broke with Final Destination. But before this, every movie that ever had bloodlines in the title was horrible.
And you're including this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It introduces Jamie Kennedy, which I do love. I love him from Scream.
Okay.
They go to Africa. You find out Jamie Kennedy is his illegitimate son. But a lot of the humor isn't as great as the previous ones.
So I know that the original writers started directing the first couple of sequels. Were any of them still attached to the franchise at this point?
No, I don't think so. I think this guy, Don Michael Paul, wrote and directed 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
But I don't think he was involved before that. But I did like the inclusion of Jamie Kennedy.
Sure.
And so I liked it. And then by the time they got to part 6, I feel like they fixed the humor.
Okay.
And Jamie Kennedy and Michael Gross's comedy duo thing really figured itself out. And it's really good in this movie. So 6 is really up there for me. It helps that there's a lot of beautiful scientists in this movie. And I did like the cold climate temperature. It was different.
Sure. So yeah, I don't recall it being answered in part 2, but what did happen to Heather? Did she pass away or?
No, she got divorced. She blamed the fall of the Communist Party or Communist Russia on their divorce.
Alrighty.
The line is something like that.
Okay. Obviously, that's coming from Bert's mouth,
Yeah.
so I guess we'll take that with a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah, it was mentioned in the second one. So 7 was fun. I felt a little sad that they took Jimmy Kennedy out.
Oh.
And he was like a one-liner that said he was stuck in a Mexican prison. And so Bert is by himself on an island living completely off the land because even though at the end of part 6, he got a government official to agree that he never had to pay taxes again or pay back taxes that he owed because he saved this guy's life. He had it like in contract and everything, even though guts of a graboid flew all over it. He's mad because they said that because he still owned the Walter Chang store, that he had to install a septic tank. And he said that requires permits and fees and inspectors, which is all money going back to the government, and it's all a trick to get his money.
I'm surprised the building didn't have its own septic system to begin with, but...
Yeah, so he's living on this island by himself. But the 7th movie did bring us John Heater, Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it also has Richard Blake, which I've come to like from a lot of horror movies lately.
Okay.
So that made the movie really good. They finally went the Jurassic Park route of we genetically engineered these graboids to be tougher for sport so that rich men could pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to come hunt them.
Okay.
Like idiots. But it was fun. I liked the humor of John Heater. I always have, even though he's an idiot.
Not in real life. He just plays those characters.
Yeah, right. A lot of people were upset at the ending. They want to wrap up the series, I think.
Okay.
But this part 6 kind of did this as well. Part 6 kind of made it where Jamie Kennedy's character was going to be taught so that Bert could retire. He's like, look, well, you're going to die one day, and someone's got to still fight these graboids. You should train me to do it. And so he kind of does. So I felt like 6 was setting up for Jamie Kennedy to continue filming these when Michael Gross retired. But I think by the 7th movie, they're like, yeah, he's done.
Maybe he didn't want to do the films.
I don't know.
So they ever explain, like, why are they always getting Bert to go after these graboids? Like, why doesn't a government answer the problem?
They ask him this as well, and he says, they always find me. Those damn graboids just always figure out how to involve me. He keeps trying to deny him and say he doesn't want to show up, but they always just pull some string to convince him to go help.
And so these graboids are just everywhere on the different continents around Earth?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned Africa and Canada, right?
Right.
And Bert just has to go answer the call?
Yeah, a lot of times it's money. For a while there, he tried to do a stint making the survivalist videos that he would sell, teaching people how to, handle their weapons and how to survive on nothing and that kind of thing. And when Jamie Kennedy shows up, he's there to tell him that, like, he could help him make that business more thriving when someone shows up from Africa to tell him, we want you to pay you all this money to go clear out these graboids. And Jamie Kennedy tags along because he's like, no, I'm going to film this so we can even make even more money.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a lot of it's money driven. Part 6 as well. He's like, because, like I said, he owes all these back taxes.
Sure.
And he's got to go make money so that he can pay the government. And that's what he's good at, is hunting graboids. But it is kind of ridiculous that they always go for him, right?
It's kind of how franchises go, though. But yeah.
It's fun. I like it.
Guilty pleasure.
And then again, the TV show happens between 3 and 5. Remember, 4 is a prequel, but it's pretty bad.
Was the TV show made for the Sci-Fi Channel?
It was made for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay.
And it's funny because they've got Kevin Bacon to come back in 2015 and film a pilot, which was like Halloween 2018, where anything from part 2 on didn't exist, and this is a sequel to the original movie.
Okay.
Which really drove me nuts.
Retconning?
Yeah, like, yes, I'm excited for Kevin Bacon to come back, but why not come back with all the other stuff still existing? You can make your own show without having to involve all that, just erasing all that. I think that was stupid.
I mean, when you get it to where the creature's called an ass blaster, it's kind of... I get it. Too much in the comedic realm, and...
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you have a good point there.
And Bacon, he has his career to think of. I don't think he wants to be in a film with an ass blaster creature.
Right. There's a guy that wrote a book named Jonathan Melville who did all these interviews over years and knows so much about the making of this movie.
Yeah, I bet, dude.
It was a lot of information. One little tiny fact that I found from it that was fun was that the original title of the movie was going to be Dead Silence, which is the name of another movie later, and then Beneath Perfection.
Okay.
And none of the cast knew that it was going to be called Tremors when it came out. The studio changed it to Tremors because they wanted it to be more relatable to a Japanese market who had some earthquakes recently.
Okay.
So they thought more people might see it overseas because of earthquakes that had happened.
It is funny how the studios do that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And because of that, there are a lot of people out there that think the names of the creatures are Tremors.
I mean, makes sense.
They don't tell you in the first movie.
Yeah. What about anything else in the commentary?
Yes. One thing that was fun was that Kevin Bacon was already married to Kira Sedgwick, and they were having their first baby. So the only reason a telephone was allowed on set was because they were going to call when she went into labor.
Okay.
So cast remember a scene being happened where a woman runs on a set to say, Kevin, your wife's having a baby, and the director yells cut, and Kevin left for a few days to be with his wife and his new baby, and they came back to continue shooting.
Yeah, that's good. I bet he put that in his contract to do the film.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, always, man. Definitely.
Thank you, everybody. This has been Nightmare Echoes. We have new episodes every Monday, and thank you for being here, Joseph.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me, as always.
Please leave us a 5-star review on your podcast of choice. Bye.
I think you got to read this last sentence.
Oh, yes. You're right. So, right. Okay. You're right. They hand the actors this piece of underwear, and it is basically a G-string that has a Graboid sleeve on it, and it's massive. And Kevin Bacon holds it up and says, I'll tell you what, if whoever could fill this thing out, they're working with some massive piece of equipment here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow. But it looks like it was knitted together, like hand knitted. And it's got the little mouth at the end. But it's all, I would imagine if you use that, it would get really hard to clean.
Might chafe a little bit then, huh?
It's like, it would be like, making a scarf messy.
Yeah.
And try to clean that out. It would be horrible.
Yeah, totally a gag,
Yeah.
of course, but yeah.
You're right? Yeah, it's totally funny. I can't believe I almost
I don't
forgot
think anyone
that.
was intended to wear that, but yeah.